I think we're working now. Okay, so good morning. Happy New Year. Oh, so 2024. I'm going to have to say that several times, and when I write it, it's going to be difficult, but we can do it, right? So I just wanted to pop on. I know it's the holiday, and I know people were probably busy last night celebrating, or maybe not. That's, everybody can do whatever. We weren't out late. We went for an early dinner and then just lounged around and then went to bed. I stayed up till midnight. I was watching a movie and I stayed up and then hit midnight and went to bed. Now, I didn't sleep very well. There were a lot of noises in the neighborhood, but that's okay. So, so I just wanted to let you know, every year I choose a word for the year, and I've been journaling, and I've shared journaling with all of you, and so I just thought, let's just make a journal this morning. Let's decorate a journal. Let me explain a few options, that you can do with the camera. And then, let's just do that. Let's just have a little fun this morning. There are no expectations, no set goals. Let's just explore and play and have some fun to start this new year. Because my word that I've chosen for 2024 is enjoy. And so enjoy the process, just enjoy the moment, focus on enjoyment. Now, I know it won't always be enjoyable, there won't always be joy, but I want to put my intention on enjoying, not getting all caught up in all the craziness. Just take a moment and enjoy. So, I'm going to set this aside, and this is one of the rocks I made for the holidays, but I'm going to leave it out here. Now I might make a new one with that, but that's my reminder. So I'm going to set that over here. Okay, so journals. Okay, so this is one of my journals. Okay, so there might be things that we've done together on Make It Monday in here, and then just things about family and life and thoughts and ideas. Whatever you want can go in a journal. An idea might pop in your head and you think, oh, I got to write that down so I remember. And that's okay, because you know what? It's kind of fun to look back. Now, I have several more before this. I never was a journaler. I have to be honest with you that I didn't normally do this. And then I was challenged to do that. And I started, and it's just a fun. Part of my fun is that I get to create the different pages. And that's where that creative fun comes into play. And then I might even just decorate the pages and then go back later and put something in there. Like, okay, so that's one, and then you fill it up and you move on to another one. Okay, now I did this with a stencil. And then I started playing around. Did this in a class the other day with watercolors and stuff. And some of these pages don't have anything on there yet. I have to go back and check out some pictures or look back what I did on those days. And then the holidays came and it got busy because my grandson was here and we got to have fun. And then we moved on to other days, and I have pictures, but I haven't put them in there. Okay, so New Year's Eve, last night, I have a few things that I want to add, maybe thoughts, ideas, and then we are on to 2024. And I've printed out my word of the year. I'm going to put that on there. So that's just mine, okay? So we're going to work on that. If we don't work on it, I'm going to work on it later. Okay? So you say, what do I use for a journal? Anything can work. Okay, so I have found these. This is a journal. It was just a craft paper journal cover, and I covered it with paper. Blue is my favorite color, so it was just what I did. So that was one that I'd started, and I haven't written anything in that one. And you can find mixed media. This is what I normally have used because I like the thickness of the paper. But we're going to show you some other stuff. And so this is just a mixed media notebook, a small one. This one is 5.5 by 8.5. I kind of like this size. And that's what I've been using. That's what this one is, and the other one I showed you. Okay, so that's that. And then we have, you can find a little book, just little ones that you can put stuff in, whatever. There are even ones that you can buy that are just other journals. I got the bulk of these, so. And then this is what we're going to work on today. How many have seen these composition books at the store? You can get these at our discount stores, Walmart, everywhere. So this is the one we're going to decorate this morning. Okay? And so if you could do one for just yourself, and that would be fun. Or if there's a group of you, like several of my folks that I work with live in a group home, and you could have one for the home. And then when we do stuff on Make It Monday, if somebody does something, they could write something in there. Or if you go on an adventure, you could write about it, and then you could share with family and other friends. So I just want to tell you one thing. These pages are awfully thin. So what you can do is you can, if I can get this glue undone, you could glue a couple pages together. Okay? So, like this. We're going to put some glue on this page. Just sharing some ideas with you this morning. Let's start this year with some new ideas and just sharing. So I put some glue down, and then I'm going to smoosh this back down. Okay. And then you have a thicker page. You could do more than one. It's up to you. Now, yes, it might be a little crinkled and some crinkles in there, wrinkles, but that's okay because you're going to cover it. And, you know, we could do other stuff with it. You can put some paper on here, like, let's see, okay, so this would be some heavier paper. You could cover this page with that, and that would give it some oomph, some thickness to it. You know, that's up to you. Okay? All right. So, but let's decorate the outside. Okay, let me put the glue back, cap back on. And I've already I did a coat of chalk paint. Because chalk paint kind of dries a little better. I think it works pretty good. I'm going to try this. This is a cheaper brand. And this is a little bit darker. So we're going to try this. So this is just chalk paint. Hello Hobby. I think it's Walmart that I got this at. All right. So, and I want to protect my book. So you could use parchment paper, newspaper, other paper, whatever you like. Okay, so I'm just going to do this. I don't really need to do it on there, so we're going to do the front, and then we'll put another coat on the back, and then we'll work on the back. So I have my paintbrush, and I'm just dipping it in the paint. Let me put these over to the side because, you know, I will probably mess up and get it over there. So let's paint this. Now it's probably going to take a couple coats to get it covered, because we're going to use a napkin today. I'm going to decorate my outside of this cover, this notebook, with this journal with a napkin to give some art, some fun art. So we're going to put a couple coats. I got my dryer ready. Remember, if you pop on, say hello. But remember, this is always available on the replay. I didn't know if I'd have any visitors this morning. Hope you guys weren't all partying all night long. Okay. That's okay. That's your choice. No judgment. Okay, so let me get my dryer. We're going to dry this off. Okay. All right, let's put another coat. I think we'll even put another coat on the back. Okay. Now, we have to be a little careful because this could scrape off. But chalk paint, when it gets cured, meaning that you let it sit for a while, it'll get hardened and it'll be good. Most of the time. I can't guarantee all the time. It just depends on the brand. But for our purposes, the kind that doesn't cost so much is a good one for us. Because these are just to have fun. And see how it's covering it better? We might have to do one more coat after this one. We don't want green peeking through. And you know what? If pink gets on the other side, that's okay, because you can always decorate the inside cover too. I'm not sure what we'll do. I might bring this one along to one of the homes and we'll see what they want to do. I'll get them started. Okay. And we're going to get paint on our hands. You can always wear gloves. And then some of my friends who might have difficulty holding on to the paintbrush, remember we can build up the handle, make cuffs to hold it. Yep, there's always options. So if you have a particular question, please feel free to ask. Now that one's pretty good. But let's dry it one more time and we can put one more coat over both sides. Okay? I think that's what we should do. We got time. I got time. We're in no hurry, are we? We're just going to enjoy the process and see what happens. It's just paint and a napkin on top. Oops, it's still wet. It's getting there. Sometimes it takes a little while. I need that word patience. Okay, yeah. See if I can, since it's a little warm, sometimes the paint dries quicker. This will be good. And this chalk paint can be kind of thick. It'll take a little bit extra to dry. A little bit more up here. Be good enough. It's just a journal. Not just a journal. Okay, let's try this. Here. Let me stop a minute. Let's let it just set for a minute. And I just wanted to explain why I use a white or a lighter shade, because my napkin is a white background, and so I want it to really show and be vibrant. So that's why if we use a napkin that has a whitish background, because we're going to take the layers away, and you can see through the bottom layer. Okay, so let's finish drying. Okay. You know what? I'm going to set this aside for a minute. Let's let it just sit for a little bit. And we're going to work inside my journal. Okay. We'll put the top back on, paint. Maybe. Come on. Does anybody else ever have trouble getting these tops back on? There we go. Good enough. Look at that, this clean paper. Okay, so let's go to my journal. Okay, so I have my pages. I started one for 2024, okay? So what I'm going to do is I wrote out about my word of the year. And I am just going to put this in here. Okay, and then I'm going to glue this over here, and then I did a blog post today, so if you go to pamsdenicreativefun.com, it's there, or I think I shared it on on our Facebook page too. So, and it's just about what I think. Last year I chose the word innovate, and this year it's just enjoy. And what does enjoy mean? Just taking delight or pleasure and possess and benefit from. Like, how do we think about that? I just want to be in the moment, I said, and just enjoy. You know, I think I was reminded of that very much so when my grandson came to visit this Christmas. We had the pleasure of having him here for Christmas. And just to see that sparkle in his eye and just all that fun and just taking it in the moment. And so it just reminded me. So I just want to work on enjoy. Sometimes we get caught up in the moment of little details and all that stuff. And sometimes that's very important. I'm not saying that it's not. It's just that sometimes I think, well, I know my brain gets going and thinking about all that stuff, and I just have to tell myself to stop. Take a big deep breath and just be in the moment. Enjoy what's happening. Like if you go somewhere, just enjoy it for the moment. Not be thinking like, oh, what we got to do later and all that stuff. So, I got off a little bit on a tangent. But as we're starting the new year, we want to think about that, don't we? Okay, so I am going to start my journal here for 2024. Now, it's not a brand new journal because I'm just going to continue in the one that I have. So I'm going to glue my little thing that says Word of the Year. Okay, and you might want to do something like this too, but you could do whatever you'd like. This is what I did, so it just reminds me of what my word is and what I might want to reflect more on during the year. Now, you could give choices to folks, like if you go somewhere and you want to put something in a journal, like which one do you want to put in there? This one or this one? Or encourage them to use, if they use a communication device, to use that device to answer. Sometimes it's amazing what they come up with, that you might think of one thing, but it comes out totally different. Okay, now I guess this is the paper, but I'm going to turn it over and use the back side for this other page. So, just using some good old glue stick. And I'm going to put this in here. Yep. And it might not be perfectly straight, but that's okay. And then I'm going to glue, this was the blog post I did, so I'm just going to put that in there. Help me remember. And I'm going to put this down here. More glue here. And I can always go back later and add more. Embellish it a bit. Do some fun doodling. I often do that. And no, these aren't all cut perfectly. It's fine. Can you see it? Can everybody see that? Okay. All right. So that's the start of my journal for 2024. And I need to go back and finish the other ones. I kind of forget sometimes to go back. But I will do that. You know, and we're talking about this, like if there's certain things that you guys want us to do on Make It Mondays, let me know. Share. I'll put a post about that, a question, little poll, what we want to do. If you find that you really want, if you want to continue with Make It Mondays, I think it's kind of fun. I think some of our friends get some good enjoyment out of it. Hold on a second. I just want to check something. Good morning, Delana. Happy New Year, friend. Okay, so look at my hands are all messy. That's okay. All right, so I'm going to set this aside. Let's go back to decorating the journal. Okay, so yeah, this is pretty dry now. So now I have I have this napkin, and I'm gonna cut this part off. We don't need the recipe. Cutting this off. I'll just do one for now. Let's see. It works pretty good. All right, I'm gonna fold this, and we're gonna take the layers off, but sometimes it's helpful to cut it before we take the layers off. I find it doesn't rip as much, okay? All right, so we're gonna put this on the back there. Think there's a top or a bottom? I don't think so. Okay, so we're just going to use good old Mod Podge. Okay, so I'm going to pour a little bit into my little dish here. You can use a paper plate, you can use a bowl, you can use right out of the container. Okay, so now we have to separate these plies, and sometimes as one of my friends called it, the lick and stick. It's your own saliva. So, but if not, you could try pulling them apart using a little a little pin. You could put a little piece of tape on there, washi tape, and just pull it apart. Now, let's be gentle, because remember, this is just a napkin. Because if somebody grabs it really hard, it might rip, okay? So if you're working with somebody, and sometimes some of our friends like to be a little forceful, so we just have to remind them. Okay, so this is what we're going to put on there. Okay, so now I'm going to take my paintbrush and go into my Mod Podge and cover this with the Mod Podge. Yep. And get all the corners so we can get it to stick. Okay. Now there's many different ways getting ahead of myself here. Sorry, my brain is going. Okay, so I'm just going to lay this down here, and I'm going to be gentle and try to get these. Wrinkles are okay, my friend. Okay, I'm gonna put a little more down here. I was off a little bit, but that's okay. We'll go back. Okay, so you can use one of these kind of brushes, a dry brush, and smoosh it down. This is a great one for those that need to do that heavy, like to pound and stuff. Those are, you got a little. Okay, now do you see how there's a piece up? So let's go back and get some more. There's a little part over here. Okay, now we're going to dry it again. Okay. Now, we're going to put a top coat on. You're like, but Pam, we just dried it. I know. But we had to adhere it. And now we need to cover it, because if we're drawing this or put some other stuff on, because as what is a napkin's job is to absorb. And so if you don't seal it, sometimes you don't have to seal it, but we're going to seal it this time because we don't know how we're going to decorate on top of it. Okay, so this way it's sealed good, and you can stamp or draw or decorate it however you would like. Okay, so gotta get this stuck on there. You know, and if you get a little wrinkle, that's okay. Remember, it's okay. Okay. Nope, I need some more. Take your time. Try not to push too hard. And if there's little bubbles, don't worry. We can try smushing them down. Not because it's unique and different and it's yours. Little bubbles, little whatever is okay. Alright, I think we're just going to work on the back because this is still a little tacky because I had done this one earlier and then we only put the other, whoops, see, this is what happens, a napkin tears, so I have to be careful. So I'm just going to take that off of there, and that's okay. There. We'll do a little doodles over there, okay? It's the back. Okay, so that's one way that you can do your journal, okay? Look kind of pretty, huh? So another thing we can do is if you think like, oh, it's just too white. I have these chalk ink, and you could use watercolors, you could use, let's see, what color do we want? Maybe this green. Okay, I'm going to get a little white. Just going to show you a few different other things. But you could use paint. You could color pencil. There's watercolor pencils. So I'm just going to get a little of this ink on here. This is chalk ink. And see how it gets on there. And I'm just going to and see, now I can wipe some more of that off so it's not so much, just a little highlight. I kind of like that. See how it's just a little something. And I might do that when I do this. It's a little tacky. I have to let that dry. So patience. All right, so I'm going to move that over to the side. I got a few brushes to clean. So we do this. All right. So I would love it if you put a journal together that you put a picture. That would be great. This will be my front. Be back. Might put something a little special to embellish it in the middle after I put the other napkin on. And of course I will show pictures. You know, one way is to use stamps if there's a certain word, or my journal, or put journal. Like this one I just wrote it on. I just wrote journal on there. Let's see what I did on this one. Oh, I had the stencil. You could even just use a stencil if there's something you want. In my one that I had before that one, I had stamped the word journal and put it on a paper and then glued it on. But, so many options. I don't have that one down here with me, you know, so I will finish this one up later, and stay tuned how I do that. And I'll post pictures, of course. Okay, so I have my other napkin that will go on the front. I'm ready for that. And that's that. Okay. So every month I put this on Facebook. This is from Action for Happiness, and you can go to this website and get it. But I usually upload it for you guys every month. So now it's January, and it says Happier January. And today is January 1st. So the little prompt for today is find 3 things to look forward to this year. Might want to think about that one, huh? Well, I'm going to look forward to enjoying the moment. But there's just things that I'm trying to think of I have to think about that one. And that's okay. When somebody asks you a question and you don't have an answer right away, it's okay. Like, wait a minute. Give me a moment. I'll let you know. Or write about it in your journal. So that way when they ask you, you can go, wait a minute, let me look and see what I wrote. Yeah. So, but just know that I will, if I didn't put it up already, I will. And you can have it. And just, you don't have to do it all the time, but sometimes you're just like, I need something to focus on today. Yeah, there's a good one. Okay. And each month it's a different theme. So it's just makes you think. It's a good idea. Good, especially to start the new year. Think, think, think. Okay. Let me wipe off this glue stick so my glue stick lid does not stick together. Or I'll need one of you guys with muscles to come and undo these. Okay? All right. Let me see if I can get this up here. Yeah. All right. So, I want you guys to have a great start of the new year. For those that watch it on the replay, Happy New Year. And let me know what you think. I'll post pictures later when I do more of it. I always do. But I love it. I really love when you show me what you've done. It's great. And be proud of it. It doesn't have to be perfect. And it just can be whatever you want it to be. In that moment of time, what you made it is what you made it. And it's great. And if you needed help doing it, that's okay too. But we need to encourage folks to do stuff on their own. But you know, it's okay to ask for help. And if you have a hard time painting it, it's okay to ask, say, can you help me with it? Don't get frustrated. It's okay. All right? Just have fun. Okay? So have a great New Year's Day, and I'll see you later. Bye.